Kevin, thanks very much for joining us. This particular situation dragged on for almost 15 hours. Now, you have expertise in training prison staff and other authorities to go in and deal with these sorts of situations. Can you give us an idea about how they might have been able to bring this under control at 3 o'clock this morning?
Well, I guess a lot of prior preparation and planning goes into these sorts of events. Certainly with professional units, the Victoria Police and the Corrective Services, they would have been planning for the contingencies of this sort of event occurring for quite some time. Therefore, they had the preparation, the equipment and the resources to manage it in a way which appears to be very professional indeed.
Do you think it's lucky that we have seen the level of injury? Of course, it's no good if anyone is injured, but we've seen 3 prison staff injured and injuries to 5 prisoners themselves. Do you think it's lucky that we didn't see greater injuries in this situation?
Look, there's certainly an element of luck. There's no question about that at all. Having said that, you can't go over the professionalism of the staff. This appears to be handled very, very well indeed, and I'm sure around the world they'll be looking how it was handled, and those injuries reflect the professionalism of the staff involved, I would suggest.
And what considerations would have had to be brought into account to bring this to an end, given the type of prisoners that we're seeing at this particular centre? They range in terms of seriousness, in terms of crimes or alleged crimes, and they're all either waiting for sentencing or trial.
Well, a lot of things would have been taken into consideration, and with jails, a big concern is that the possibility that this event might have been a catalyst by the non-smoking, but prisoners might have had other objectives. Perhaps maybe wanted to fix up other prisoners, might have been escape attempts. There could have been a whole host of other reasons or rationales behind it, and that's always a concern in the prior preparation and planning.
And once
you really don't necessarily know what you're up against. Sorry.
Yeah. And Kevin, once the riot was actually underway, what are the priorities in terms of the response in effect of bringing it under control?
Well, certainly harm minimisation, but with prisoners, safe containment's number one, to make sure that prisoners don't escape, and that certainly was done. And then conducting this operation in as safe a possible way as they can, to reduce injuries. And it really is going back to prior preparation planning, going back to the plans that have been put in place, and ensuring that it unfolds with minimal injury, and that certainly appears to be the case.
But of course, when prisoners are involved, things can be unpredictable. What would the response teams have done to ensure that things didn't escalate and perhaps present a risk to public safety, not just the safety of those inside the prison?
Well, as I say, safe containment, ensuring the prisoners don't escape, and also you eat an elephant in chewable chunks. It's addressing this issue by issue, stepping through it and reflecting and getting all the intelligence that you can and making appropriate decisions at appropriate times.
And there will be an investigation into everything that happened yesterday, and we await the outcomes of that. Kevin Collister, thanks very much for joining us.